A very good evening to fellow Toastmasters, distinguished Toastmasters, and dear guests. It's my pleasure to welcome you all to this speech marathon of the Gabbys Online Advanced Toastmasters Club. Welcome to a wonderful, interesting, exciting, power-packed meeting full of speeches and evaluations back to back. I'm Toastmaster Priya Singh, your Sergeant at Arms for today's meeting. Before we proceed further with the meeting, I would like to highlight a few guidelines which will help us to enjoy a smooth and productive meeting. Our meeting is for 2 hours, and I would request all members and participants present here to stay throughout the entire duration of the meeting to get maximum benefit from it. Your video should be on and your audio should be off unless you need to speak or you are called upon to speak during the meeting. At the Toastmasters International, there are no restrictions regarding expressing views on controversial topics such as sex, religion, and politics. But here at the Gabbys, we request all participants and role takers to be mindful and refrain from expressing any controversial views on these sensitive topics. At the Gabbys, we stand by our club mission, that is to create a supportive and positive learning space where members build communication and leadership skills, thereby ensuring increased confidence and personal growth. So without further ado, I would like to now take the pleasure to pass on the virtual stage to our presiding officer for today's meeting, Toastmaster Samita Kar. She is a 3-time Triple Crown Award winner, a dynamic soft skills trainer with a dream to empower women leaders. She boosts confidence, communication, and careers. An avid storyteller and passionate traveler, her bag is always full of stories. So let's put our hands together to welcome our presiding officer, Toastmaster Samita Kar. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much. And let us hear for our Sergeant for such an interesting and energetic start. All the members of Gabbys, welcome. All our guests, welcome. And visiting Toastmasters, welcome to such an interesting meeting of speech marathon today. I see a few guests today. I would like if you could unmute and just introduce yourself. Guest Toastmaster Kelly.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kelly Chow. I hail all the way from District 102. It is a pleasure to be here. I look forward to the speech marathon and show me what you got.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I hope you go back with good memories. I see Prapurna, are you a guest or a Toastmaster?
Yes, I'm a visiting Toastmaster, ma'am.
Yes.
So I saw this poster in TM Connect Global. So I'm excited to see how this goes.
Welcome. Please stay back till the end of the meeting and give us feedback. We would definitely love to hear from you and improve on what we can. So Toastmasters International, for the benefits of the guests who were there, is a platform started by Dr. Ralph L. Smedley in 1924, a platform for public speaking and leadership. But of course, we all agree we get so much more. It is a non-profit educational organization that operates club worldwide to help people improve their communication, their leadership, their public speaking skills. It is a very supportive and safe environment for members to practice, refine these skills through the regular meetings that we have. What is the best part about it? It is learning by doing. And there is no designated teacher. It is self to all the Toastmasters take it upon themselves and at their own pace without any pressure, keep on working for it. Today's meeting is a special one. We have a speech marathon. The meeting is divided into two sections. The first section will be of the speeches, and the second section will be of evaluation. First, we will have the first speaker of today who will be giving her icebreaker speech. Before I go on to the first speaker, there will be one rule taker who is the timer. And today's timer is Toastmaster Vipul Sharda. Is a software engineer from Chittorgarh, Rajasthan, and he practices Vipassana meditation to stay centered and enjoy books, entertainment, and meaningful conversation. He will be showing us the card to tell us how much time we have left. Timer Vipul, can you please explain the timings?
Sure. Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. I am Vipul Sharda, your timer for today's speech marathon. As timer, my role is to help speakers stay within their allotted times and practice effective time management. I will be showing virtual backgrounds as follows. Green, when the speaker reached the minimum qualifying time, and yellow, when the speaker is at the midway point, and red when the speaker has reached the maximum time. Each speaker will have 30 seconds after the red signal to wrap up their speech. And I will also time the evaluations. Each evaluator will have 2 to 3 minutes with green at 2, yellow at 2.5, and red at 3 minutes.
Thank you. Thank you for that clear explanation. So, our first speaker is someone who is a director and partner at Practive Consulting and Training LLP, a vibrant consultant and training service company which serves MSMEs, non-profits, and corporates across India. She has more than 10 years of entrepreneurial experience and a strong expertise in business intelligence and data analytics. She is the chartered president of the Gabbys and currently serving as VP Education of the Gabbys Club. She is distinguished Toastmaster Nancy Goel. She will be pursuing, this is her icebreaker speech, Persuasive Influence Level 1, Project 1. The project objective is for the member to introduce herself to the club and learn basic structure of speech. It is a 4 to 6 minute speech. She will be evaluated by Toastmaster Kelly Shaw. Toastmaster Kelly, already we have spoken, so you are there. Distinguished Toastmaster Nancy Goel, you are a DTM. You are a DTM, Distinguished Toastmaster Nancy Goel.
Oh, I know Toastmaster of the Day. I know I am a DTM. Oh God, how many times do people are going to remind me of this? I am a DTM, you are a DTM, you are a DTM. Well, all of those who are new to this club or who are visiting Toastmaster, let me introduce myself. I would call myself the oldest living fossil of this club, the first member of the Gabbys Toastmasters Club. Yes, I am here from the dinosaurs age, back when we used to write speeches with chalk. I started my journey as the chartered president. Chartered president of a club of all the trainers certified from Image Consulting Business Institute. So all the people around me, they were already highly accomplished speakers, so to speak. And I was also the youngest member of the club, which is a nice way of telling others that I needed parental permission to log in for late night speeches. Well, I was frightened, terrified to even begin my journey. My journey started with a phone call from my mentor. He helped me with one speech at a time. One speech became one level became one path, and finally two paths, and the Holy Grail, a distinguished Toastmaster title. To top it all, I also went a little overboard and completed one path in 21 days. Yes, I was cooking speeches faster than I was cooking Maggie. For me, my Toastmasters journey was like I came, I saw, I conquered, and then I sat down. Yes, I sat down. I made the biggest mistake of my life. I chose humor as my path, next path. And that was the end of my life. Game over. That's it. The moment I chose humor as my next path, I was struggling left, right, and center. The only person who was laughing at my speeches was my mentor. After every speech, he was like, "Kya tha ye? What was that?" And my response was, "At least I tried." Amidst all of this, there was the biggest irony happening. Multiple evaluators who came forward and told me how pathetic my speech was. But more importantly, they told me, "Nancy, you are a DTM." That's a nice way of saying we expected more from you. I knew this. I knew that I was a DTM, but it was not happening. I was trying. Slowly, I stopped delivering speeches. Slowly, I realized it's not happening. Slowly, I felt that I should give up. So, to give up on my Toastmasters journey, I called my mentor and told him that our mentor mentee relationship is over. Finally, I'm not going to call you anymore. In that last call with him, he said, "Nancy, you are a DTM." I said, "Oh, of course, I know. So I want you to also know that you are beyond a role. You are learning to be shameless with every passing speech." And I'm like, "What?" "Yes, you are learning to be shameless. You learn to be shameless and then you try humor. Complete your speech is what matters more." I realized that he was making sense. We all are carrying some roles or the other. We all carry titles like DTM, president, that girl, or that funny boy. But we are much beyond these titles. We are humans. We are learning and we are trying, all of us. They say that don't judge a book by its cover. I would say that don't judge an author by its book. Don't judge a speaker by his or her speech. Just evaluate the speech. I am a DTM, and that's why I'm still standing here attempting my first speech of the sixth path. I will still be trying my hand at humor. I know, again, nobody laughed. But this time I chose an evaluator, someone who's not from my club and who won't come back and say, "Hey, Nancy, you are a DTM." Let's move further and talk about the speech. Over to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you, thank you. Let us give a standing ovation to our icebreaker speech. Wow, that was a different take on your DTM. I was wondering what you had to say about such a beautiful title. That was indeed interesting. So now we will have our next speaker, Toastmaster Shravan Kumar. Toastmaster Shravan, and
Yes, so
he will be evaluated by Toastmaster Sachin. Yes, I can see Toastmaster Sachin. Toastmaster Shravan is an experienced IT professional in regulatory compliances and IT governance. He has led as president of TCS Maitri Toastmasters Pune. He is pursuing a master in yoga and is deeply interested in human and animal behavior psychology. His path is visionary communication, level 4. It's an elective project. Create a podcast. The purpose of this project is for the member to be introduced to the skills needed to organize and present a podcast. And it is also for the member to introduce their podcast and present a segment of the podcast. Timer, please note, it is 13 minutes. Toastmaster Shravan Kumar, voice and vision. Inside Toastmasters leadership. Voice and vision inside Toastmasters leadership, Toastmaster Shravan Kumar.
yeah, Toastmaster Samita, I have a request before timer start his clock. I request Zoom moderator to highlight me and Toastmaster Kavya. It is a project requirement.
Okay.
Yeah. Both should be in a say single screen. Yeah, I'm going to start. Hello and welcome everyone to Inside the Toastmasters Experience, a podcast where we dive into personal stories, leadership insights, and growth journeys inspired by Toastmasters. I'm your host, Toastmaster Shravan, and I'm excited to bring you a special episode today, especially for our fellow Toastmasters and anyone curious about what really goes on behind the scenes of in a Toastmasters club. Today's topic is what is being a club executive committee officer to me? We often hear about roles like the president, vice president education, secretary, and sergeant at arms. But what do these roles really mean to the people who take them on? What do they teach us, and how do they shape us? To help answer these questions, I'm thrilled to have with me a special guest, a senior Toastmaster, Kavya. Toastmaster Kavya is a people facing person both at work and in Toastmasters, one by choice, the other by corporate karma. Currently exploring to unlock a few milestones along the way. For me, Toastmaster Kavya know as a educational speaker in Toastmasters fraternity. For her, public speaking and baking are like milk and decoction. They blend perfectly to create that satisfying cappuccino. And the most rewarding part is she is going to share that blend with all of us. And she also enjoys watching the people around in the Toastmaster fraternity grow with every step forward. In the next 10 minutes, we will explore her experience, leadership lessons, challenges, and how the executive committee journey has transformed her personally and professionally. So, without further ado, let's welcome Toastmaster Kavya to the show. Everybody give a big round of applause to her. Toastmaster Kavya, welcome to the podcast. It's an absolute pleasure to have you here.
Thank you, Toastmasters Trevor. I'm excited to be here with Gabbys and as your partner in crime.
All right, let's begin with the basics. When did you first take up a club officer role and what motivated you to say yes to that responsibility?
Okay, for me, I've started as an associate before even jumping into the this is the actual excom role. This is something I voluntarily took because most of the clubs, some of the clubs encourage, but most of the clubs don't encourage that. And I have been given a chance of choice of deciding whether to go for a president or as a vice president education. Being a president is something you have to manage everyone; they will do their own task. But I wanted to be a little bit challenging, so the first excom role I took was obviously the vice president education because I want to know the nuances. I want to face that challenge. As you already said, I'm a people person, so I want to talk to each one of them, get their idea of joining Toastmasters, in which way I can help them as one of their leader. That is the motive behind all of those things. And of course, I want my club to be growing in a high scale. So I don't want people to be absent or seeing the chairs alone. You're not motivating at all. So yeah, there are a lot of things which you can creatively bring up when you are in vice president education. So I challenged myself that I'm going to take this.
Oh, wonderful. Have you played any other other roles in the XCOM? Toastmaster
XCOM,
Kavya?
no, currently playing as the president of Sentinel Orators, but yeah.
Uh, all right. Which role have you enjoyed the most so far and why? What made it special? Is it president or vice president education?
For me, every role is special. If even if you take an associate role or just being a member, take a TMOD, every role is very special. But if you ask me particularly, then I would say yes, vice president education. Even if you are given a chance, I will again go for vice president education. That is something which has my heart for sure.
Wonderful. All right, let's talk about challenges. What was the one of the most difficult moments you faced as a club officer and how did you overcome it?
Okay,
Please share your experience.
the last minute dropouts. Last minute dropouts. People just members will they have their emergency that is very crucial. Yeah, we do understand, but all of a sudden the morning 10 o'clock is our meeting timing. They'll call me at around 8 and say, hey, I'm traveling to Bangalore, so I cannot make it to the meeting. That was speaker number one. Then I felt, dude, you could have said me this earlier, the previous day, yesterday. That is something which is triggering me for a long time. And the absenteeism. So what I did when I took over as the vice president of education, our club was having like around 20 25 members. I literally spent time with each one of them, speaking to them for at least 20 minutes, asking them, what is your goal in Toastmasters? Why did you join Toastmasters? Are you are a person to go for a communication? Just go for a roles alone. I'm not going to disturb you for the next 6 months. No XCOM role, nothing. Go for roles alone. And then are interested in speeches? Let me help you. If your mentor is not available, let me spare the time for you. Or if you are interested in contests, let me give you the education sessions that will help you grow up. So by having each one the separate blueprint and the goal sheet for each one of them, they started showing up. And I'm really proud to say at least most of the people in my term at least have got triple crown award. So yeah, I'm happy about it.
Nice to know that, Toastmaster Kavya. In fact, I am proud of Gabby's, part of Gabby's Toastmaster Club. I never experienced such such thing. But in my previous club, it was the same. I mean, I come across with that kind of experiences, many experiences, I can say. Next, let us go to the next thing. The Toastmasters is known for building both communication and leadership.
Yeah.
How has being an executive committee member shaped you personally and professionally?
Okay, wonderful question. We joined Toastmasters not as to just grow ourselves. Of course, we want to scale up our professional. We should have to upskill ourselves, right? So that I would say as a member, each role in Toastmasters for communication, if I have to figure out, I'll divide this answer into two parts. One is communication and one is leadership. So communication, even if you are a sergeant at arms for one particular meeting, that is a huge task for you. I will literally say that because you are the one who is going to introduce the particular president for another 6 months or 1 year of term. So you have to come up with lots of ideas. People, I know as a sergeant at arms, you will be reading out the mission statements, do not say the taboo topics, all these things. But how creatively you do that, that is challenging for you. That sergeant at arms could be an inventory role, very small role, but on the day of the meeting, then it takes really courage to show up and bring in that creativity in your mind to engage people, because people should stay with you, and moreover you are the person to open the entire meeting. So TMOD, timer, table topics master, the way how you give the questions or the quotes to others, so that you can bring out the best of outside of them through the answers. And that is, I think, something we all should give it a try. Don't take a backseat, just right or wrong, do it. For me, Toastmasters is more of an experimental lab. Even if I fail, I don't mind. It's okay. What will happen? Along with me, most of the people have other failed as well. That is something for communication sake. And for leadership sake, I would say people say that you have to say no. That is also one of the lessons I have learned. But even the small opportunities like the area extended team, division extended team, to that will help you grow in large. Because when, for example, if you are a treasurer of your club, you have to work on the budgeting, which will always help you in your projects, and if you're in a professional end. And again, if you are a vice president education, you have to gather with people, then that will give you the collaboration with the people. And if you are vice president membership, it's more like, I feel it's a recruitment part. You have to talk to the members, get follow up with them, all these things will happen. So some way or the other, it is helping you indeed. So never leave a chance at Toastmasters.
Absolutely, I do agree with you, Toastmaster Kavya. In fact, a while ago, our Toastmaster Nancy has also expressed her openly. It's a platform to learn it and also understand our mistakes and learn out of those mistakes. Fantastic. Next, how does teamwork within the executive committee influence the health of the club? Can you share your perspective on how a good team dynamic change the everything?
Okay. So most of it, I see. I don't want to sugarcoat things, but I'm more of a straightforward person. Uh, Let me just say it out loud. If you're a president, you have to understand, or if you're an excom member, we all have to understand, we are nobody's boss here. We are not reporting to anyone in Toastmasters. We are just enabling people. There's only one thin line between the normal members and the excom members. The part is, you will have a training and you will get to lead a chance. You'll get the chance to lead the entire club. That's it. To contribute from your end. That's it. So there is only a thin line. Second, don't micromanage. If you're a president, don't go to the vice president membership, vice president education, say that, hey, what is the agenda for today? It is done. If they need any help, give an opportunity for them to come to you. Take a back seat. And also, one more thing which I have learned in this entire Toastmasters journey is, being the IPP or the president is really a tough job. Trust me, because when people know entire team, when you're sergeant at arms, secretary, treasurer, VPM, VPPR, VPE, everybody knows how to do their job really good, and you're the one who is just going and asking them, hey, is it done? Is it done? That is really unnecessary. you should know how to stay calm, because in case if you see any turbulence, then you can go approach. You need any help, asking if they need any help, or micromanaging them is very different thing. So that entire thing will reflect immediately on the members part, because members will get a grasp of it immediately, because they are seeing you each and every week on the meeting. So if you something is not right during the MOT or the CSP, something is not right on the excomment, it will definitely impact the entire member's journey. So you have to be a little careful about that when you are a leader. Yeah.
Absolutely, I second you on this point. For new members or those hesitant to take up leadership roles, what advice would you give? Why should someone consider becoming a club officer?
Okay. Um, I won't say it is an advice, because people hate advices these days. So for sure, no. I will suggest them, when you show them that these are all the benefits you can have in your professional journey or in your personal journey. If you are an entrepreneur, if you are a professional person in IT or somewhere else, if you are a teacher, these are all the benefits you can get. If you don't have time, that is okay, completely fine. Be an associate. Start small. Start taking up tasks. If you are a vice president education, or assign the associate, hey, follow up these members and then get the things done. If you are a membership, give a list of guest numbers to them, ask them to follow up. They will also learn. And basically inclusive, that comes from the existing members. You should be we generally speak a lot about inclusion and diversity, but in reality, do we follow that in the Toastmasters is a big question. So that gives you the motivation, I would say. No role is challenging here, but every role is challenging. I'm saying that you have to take
Absolutely.
that. Yeah, if you have to take that. And what will happen. Either you know or either you don't know. If you don't know, people are there to help. If you know, just go creative. No problem.
Absolutely. Finally, if you could describe your executive committee journey in just 3 words, what would they be and why?
3 words. I've been talking for all these things, and Vipul is like, will she even pause for some time? No, I don't. I'm a person. 3 words. That is really tough, but I would say it is learning, challenging, and helping people grow. That is the most important part. You gain knowledge, you learn a lot of things when you are in an XCOM role. But are you doing justice by sharing that experience with others? That matters a lot, because as of me, as my father always say, money and the knowledge are the two things. When you share, it expands. So absolutely, when you share that, it will grow and it will help you also grow. People will for sure come back to you. That is definitely the XCOM role. That is part of being the leader. I think leader, that is the 3 words I would say.
Wonderful. In fact, you're sharing a lot of information with all of us. So you're going to expand.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much, Toastmaster Kavya, for those wonderful insights and your honest reflections. It's always inspiring to hear how leadership in Toastmasters goes beyond titles and truly builds character, connection, and confidence. To our listeners, if you are thinking about stepping up as a club officer, take the lead. It's not just about service, it's about growth. That's all for today's episode of Inside the Toastmasters Experience. I'm your host, Toastmaster Shravan. Until next time, keep leading, keep learning, and keep speaking. Over to you, Toastmaster today.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shravan. A big round of applause for Toastmaster Kavya for answering those questions and for such a wonderful podcast. The next speaker is a multidisciplinary dentist with 24 years of experience and is founder of ARS Dental Clinic. He leads advanced implant centers and a dental academy in Navi Mumbai and Bangalore. He's also the author of the globally published book on root canal treatment, available on different platforms. He is on a his path is presentation mastery level 4 project 2. Project is to create a podcast. It is for the member to introduce their podcast and present a segment of their podcast. I am going to evaluate him. His project is for 13 minutes and his speech title is Dr. Pasha, the gateway to health. The gateway to health, Dr. Pasha.
Let me share a story with you. A 17 years old girl, Asha, once walked into my clinic. Her head was down, shoulders slouched, her hair covered most of her face. When she spoke, she whispered and quickly covered her mouth. She had been bullied so much that she had forgotten how to be herself, not just physically, but emotionally, socially, spiritually. We started her treatment. Slowly, her bite improved, her face opened up, her posture lifted. And with each session, so did her confidence, her energy, her voice. Months later, her mother sent me a photo. She was on stage holding a debate trophy, smiling from ear to ear. That day, I realized I didn't just fix teeth, I helped restore a life. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, most welcome guests, honorable dignitaries. Today's my evaluator, Samantha Ma'am. Let me ask you something we almost never think about. Where does life truly begin? Anyone from the audience? Samita ma'am, Nancy ma'am, Saurav sir is there? Saurav sir,
Yes, can you repeat the question, please?
where does life truly begin?
Where does life? I didn't get the question.
Where does life truly begin?
When we are born,
Okay,
When we start living,
then not in the heart, not in the mind, not even in the gut. Life begins at the mouth because mouth is the entry point for air, food, words, emotions, and for life itself. But despite its power, sadly, it is the most ignored part of human body. Why I speak with such conviction? As a doctor, I have spent years transforming lives, not through major surgeries or powerful pills, but through something simple, the mouth. I have seen teenagers become confident adults just from a corrected smile. I have watched exhausted faces light up again. just by fixing a point. I have witnessed patients who did just look better. They felt alive again. This isn't just cosmetic. It is biological. It is emotional. It is transformational. When we heal the mouth, we often heal how a person feels about themselves. That changes everything. Let me share a powerful, painful truth. Health versus wealth paradox. We sacrifice our health to gain wealth. Then we spend that wealth trying to regain our health. And often the first area we compromise is our mouth. Silent, overlooked, but absolutely critical. The most hidden power. Think about it. We speak through it. We eat through it. We breathe through it. Digestion, energy, immunity, stamina, sleep, self-image, all begin in the mouth. The body's first interaction with the world starts here. When your mouth is in poor condition, ignored, inflamed, neglected, your entire system suffers. This isn't just dental, it is cardiovascular, neurological, emotional. Then why do people ignore it? Why don't we take our oral health seriously? Because of two reasons. One, seeing is believing. We don't see our teeth or gums degrading. We assume we are fine. If your finger bleeds, you panic. If your gum bleeds, nothing. We ignore what we can't see. Second, healing is trusting. Tooth decay and gum diseases are silent at first. The doors clean, no pain, no urgency. But by the time they hurt, the damage is already done. Here is the truth. Prevention is power. Ripple effect. Neglecting dental health isn't just about cavities. It affects energy, inflamed gums, constantly stresses the body, stamina, bleeding gums, continuously drain the body, immunity, oral infections persistently weakens body's defenses. Just a week ago, a famous advocate, Manjunath Ranganathan, walked into my clinic complaining of bleeding gums, generalized weakness, constant fatigue, and deep tiredness that no amount of sleep could fix. Upon examination, we found the real culprit, an unnoticed chronic gum infection silently draining his energy, his stamina, his immunity. We perform simple scaling, No powerful pills, no injections, no surgery. We did simple cleaning to clear the infection. A week later, he returned back, energized, radiant, reborn, vital, alive again. Neglecting dental health also affects your sleep. Poor alignment of teeth affects breathing and disturb rest. Speech, your mouth shape the voice of your personality. Confidence, your smile shapes your identity. Mental health, feel, low self-esteem often begin with how we present ourselves. Research, recent research links Alzheimer's, dementia, memory loss, even hair loss to poor oral health as a delayed, frustrated, silent consequences. So, oral health isn't a small topic. It is the centerpiece of total well-being. What is the solution? Solution is very simple. It is not complex. Manage your stress. Move your body. Breathe deep. Avoid alcohol and tobacco. Limit sugar. Stay hydrated. Get sunlight. Brush light. Your brain depends on it. Flashlight. Your heart depends on it. Eat light. Your body deserves love. Visit to a multidisciplinary dentist. Life. Your life depends on it. This is true leadership, a reflection of your self-worth. Let me leave you with this. We often wait until something hurts before we care. But the wise take the action before it breaks down. I ask you today, care for your mouth. Talk about it. Teach it to your children, your community, your friends. Because take care of your mouth, oral health. Because when your mouth is healthy, your body is stronger, your confidence shines, your mind is clearer. Because truly, life begins at the mouth, the gateway to health. Over to you.
A big round of applause for Dr. Pasha for enlightening us on oral health. Yes, it feels very close to what I usually hear at my home also. And we will go with our next speaker. Our next speaker is someone who is a go with the flow, and a joyful person. She's always been a people's person, so enjoying her phase as an HR and image and soft skill trainer. Beyond the 9 to 5 hustle, you will find her dancing, reading books, and of course, she's someone who can get the work done. This I can say from personal experience. That is none other than our Toastmaster Yogita. Toastmaster Yogita will be evaluated by Toastmaster Mrinal Kanti Ghosh. Can I see Toastmaster Mrinal Kanti Ghosh? Has he had joined? Is he there?
Yes, she's in the meeting room. We
Yeah,
need
he
to
wants.
hear from her.
So actually, I'm just crossing the signal. So I'm just crossing the signal. I'm sorry. I'm extremely sorry. It's totally. Just give me a moment. So huge traffic. So is it possible in the next order?
Yeah, that will be better. Yes,
That is
you were
better.
driving.
Sorry.
That will be
I'm
better.
extremely sorry.
We will go with the next
Okay.
speaker, and I'll come back to you later.
Okay.
So the next speaker is Toastmaster Priyanka Gupta. Are you ready, Toastmaster Priyanka?
Yes.
Can we spotlight her?
Yes.
The evaluator.
Evaluator is Toastmaster Priya Singh. Okay. So Toastmaster Priyanka is a passionate SDE2 working in Amazon. She hopes someday she will have a whimsical opportunity to meet Doraemon. Isn't that an interesting thought? Toastmaster Priyanka's pathway is Presentation Mastery Level 1, Project 4. Project name is Evaluation and Feedback Speech 2. For the member to deliver an effective, respectful speech after applying the feedback that has been given to her. Timer, please note, it is a 5 to 7 minutes speech. Toastmaster Priyanka, the version that matters the most, the version that matters the most, Toastmaster Priyanka.
How do others see me? Why does it matter so much? I often wonder how I came across in front of different people. Do I seem like a humble person, or rude, intelligent, or something else? Sometimes I feel like I'm an impossible person to manage. My parents grew me up. After that, they sent me to Bangalore to work because they can't manage me. After that, I joined Amazon. I joined Amazon on 18 July 2022. Since then, it's been 3 years. In just 3 years, can you imagine how many managers I can have? 9 managers. Can you just consider it 9 managers? And nobody was able to manage me because I think I'm a difficult person to manage. Let me tell you a few of the last conversation I had with my managers. My first manager. Hi Dhruv, how are you? Hi Priyanka, we decided to move you to INKTS org. Bhav, 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 bhav. Except the first line, I wasn't able to process anything. I was shocked. But I moved on. My second manager. Hi Sanjay, how are you? Hi Priyanka. From now on, you will report to Kapil. Okay, fine. Let it be. I can handle it. My fifth manager. Hi Kanan, how are you? Hi Priyanka. From now on, you will work under an exchange team. Meow, meow, meow. And I was again shocked. But it's fine. I can handle it. My seventh manager. Hi Vinny, how are you? Hi Priyanka, I'm leaving Amazon. But why? And I have no option. My life. I have to live that way. But each and every manager had introduced me to different version of myself. And each version shaped me in a positive as well as a negative manner. Now, let's go to 2015. Okay. Go back to 2015 to meet 10th grade Priyanka, who loved doing science projects. And her school was hosting a science exhibition. She was very excited about it and was minding her own business working on the electrolyte solution when one of the girls in her class tried to pull off a Mission Impossible stunt and tried to squeeze through the narrowest gap between the tables. Naturally, halfway through, the mission failed and I got drenched in the electrolytic solution. I jumped off like a startled cat and stared at her and said angrily, "What do you think? You are slim?" She stared at me while my classmate fell off their chairs laughing. However, after this incident, my classmates looked at me with different eyes and I was bothered by it. Now, again hop into my time travel machine and we will go to 2008 to meet younger version of Priyanka. She was kind, innocent, teacher's favorite, loved studying and watching cartoons. But one day, when she was entering into her class, one of her classmates, nerdy Priyanka, she doesn't know anything except studies. This statement hurts me. I didn't like the version he holds of me. After listening to all these stories, what do you think? What kind of person I am? Any guesses? Any random guesses? Anyone?
Rebellious.
Yeah, can be. So, strange, isn't it? Different people have different versions of me in their mind. Some think I am a kind person, while for some, I am not. For some, I am a villain or a hero. Some recall me for my flaws, but they doesn't know the actual me. They doesn't know who I am. What they know is the version of me that exists in their world. Because I don't exist as a single person. I exist as 1,000 different versions, living in those 1,000 different minds, shaped by memories and moments, which I don't even remember. Did I get bothered by them? Should they affect me? No, actually not. They shouldn't. Because in the end, what actually matters is the version I want to be. It doesn't matter what versions my manager had or my peers or classmates hold of me. What matters is what did I decide to become and what I am right now. So I will hold on to the version I am currently. And you should also, because that's the version that really matters in the end. Thank you.
Let's give a round of applause to our Toastmaster Priyanka for that wonderful speech. Next, we have Toastmaster Rahul. Please spotlight Toastmaster Rahul. And Toastmaster Rahul's evaluator is distinguished Toastmaster Saurabh Datta. Toastmaster Rahul is a network engineer at Walmart. He loves solving complex connectivity problem by day and hitting the road for a run or bike ride after office hours. Whether exploring new routes or meeting new people, he is always up for a good conversation. His path is dynamic leadership, level 4, project 1. Project name, manage change. The objective of this project is for member to practice developing and sharing some aspect of a change management plan. Timer, please note, it is a 5 to 7 minute speech. Toastmaster Rahul, change is the only constant. Change is the only constant. Toastmaster Rahul.
Have you ever heard of this meme or seen this meme where it says that we make Goa plans with our friends, but it never works out? I'm sure all of us here would have made plans with our friends and it never worked out. Let me tell you, that's a sign from God that you can stay alive. Unfortunately for me, my plans with my friends worked out and we decided to go to this historically rich place in North Karnataka called Ampi. What started off as a very fun and boyish and reconnecting kind of journey was was that we all met after a long time. And once we reached this place had amazing kind of historical place, like monuments and rich in its historical values. We were three of us, and the other two of my friends were my school friends. We knew each other for a long time. And since we had gone on this trip, we were all over the place and we were having fun, laughter, and everything. And as time went on, we got a little bit more adventurous and we decided to take on a spontaneous plan on an unknown land. Very daring of me, I would say. So, what did I choose, or what did we all come up with? We came up with a plan to hike this mountain, which the locals had said that once you reach to the top, you can find these old historical ruins of how people in, I would say, 1400 BC had lived. We didn't know this place, but all we had was just us. And once we had reached this place, we realized something. There was nobody around us. It was just the three of us. But still, the spirit went on. We couldn't say no to it. We had come all the way. So, we decided to go and hike this mountain. But fear not, there was a way or a proper way to get on or to start this trial. You see, the members who had done this before had put up pointers at each places like a checkpoint. Like as we went on, we could see an arrow pointing which direction to take. This was turning out to be easy. What we thought to be adventurous was slowly turning into be a boring phase. It took us a while. It took us an hour and a half to reach to the top. It was a mid evening and we could see beautiful rainy clouds once we reached the top. Also, one more thing was that we could also see this wonderful pond or lake at the very top of the mountain. We were very excited and we thought to ourselves, this is an amazing location to be in. Dear Toastmasters, let me tell you something. There is also one more thing that attracts this place which has water and at the top of the mountain. That is wild animals as well. We were not aware of this. We didn't even realize this until one of us jokingly pointed out saying that what if something came here right now and nobody was inside? Wow, what an adventure is this. None of us were laughing anymore. We were looking at each other with real disbelief. So we decided that let's get off this mountain. We had enough fun. The fun is done. It's time to get on with life and stay alive. In this confusion, we took a wrong road to come down. And we didn't realize this till we had almost finished 20 to 30% coming down. And we just looked at each other and we're like, where are we? There's no points, there's no checkpoints on how to get down now. And we were reaching to the close of the evening. We could see the sun is setting down now. So one of my friend at that point comes close to us and he takes a cigarette and he puts like this. And he just looks at us. I just took it off and I just threw it off. I was like, this is not a movie. Nobody's going to come to save us. We need to get off this mountain now. So I, being me, came up with a plan. In hindsight, there were two things that I can come up with. One is we could always hike up to the top of the mountain and trace our routes back. Or the second option was we could always go down the path that is unknown and take our chances. There was also a third plan. You don't need to be the fastest among the three of us if a wild animal chooses. You just need to be fastest among the two. So we could always lose one guy and the two of us could survive. I didn't tell this to anyone. But we were reaching to the almost evening or the nightish kind of phase of the day. We decided to take our chances and go down. And this was a very tough thing. None of us have any hiking experiences. We have never hiked before. And this was risky and also scary at the same time. But we decided to take it on. And it was not a fun experience at all. We bruised ourselves almost. We had a couple of falls and all that. But as we were coming down, we could hear a small faint of noise. It was humans. And this was the best thing or sound I could hear for that day. We realized that there was someone around us. That was a moment that we knew that we had reached the down. So now we had gone to the down. This was not something which I expected at all. That's when it reminded me of something. Change. Change is always constant, whether we want it or not. We never expected this. I didn't want this change to come. But that day, we all remembered and we all still keep to this day that next time, anyway, we go to an unknown place, we always need to have a contingency plan and change or any plan to get out of it. Thank you.
Let us hear from our Toastmaster Rahul. Change is the only constant, and how well you showed it to us. Next is our Toastmaster Yogita, who is a go with the flow and joyful person, and she will be having her evaluator, Toastmaster Mrinal Kantikoj, Zoom moderator. Please highlight both of them. Toastmaster Yogita, a go with the flow joyful person, always being a people's person, and she is enjoying her phase as HR, image and soft skill trainer. Beyond the 9 to 5 hustle, she is busy with her dance, reading, and exploring new places. Her path is motivational strategy level 4, project 1. Project name is Motivate Others. The objective is for member to share some aspect of their experience motivating team members through the completion of a project. Timer, please note, it is a 5 to 7 minutes speech. Toastmaster Yogita, because why matters. Because why matters, Toastmaster Yogita.
You know the fun fact about HR policies? Nobody reads them.
except for the holiday list, of course. Not even the people who writes them reads them. I learned this the hard way. Our company gives every employee a learning budget, rupees 15K to upskill. Sounds amazing, right? But almost no one was using it. I couldn't stop thinking, why? Why would something so useful just sit there untouched? Then the manager came to me and said, Yogita, make sure at least this year employees use this. Learning is important. Yes, learning is important. So I sat down with my team and made a plan. Week 1, awareness emails. Week 2, collect interest. Week 3, launch engagement activity. And week 4, track the results. On paper and in my imagination, it still sounds perfect. Until I looked at my team, they were sitting hopelessly. One person said, honestly, no one is going to bother. Another added, ma'am, do you really think people have time for all this after all the work you give them? Oh, and that's when I realized the real challenge was not the employees. It was motivating my own team first. At first, I thought, fine, let's just send the email and be done with it. Who cares? But then I paused and thought, wait a second. Why would anyone care when they don't even read the policies? Seriously, my inbox already has enough unread messages to last a lifetime. So I decided to do something different. I walked up to employees and asked a simple question. What's one skill you really want to learn and imbibe? And their answers? Amazing. Graphic design, Power BI, public speaking, artificial intelligence, and whatnot. I remember thinking, oh, they are not thinking about the policy. They are thinking about themselves. And that's when it clicked. People don't care about rules. They care about what excites them. The next day, I went to my team and told, forget the boring email. Let's make this fun. Let's make them care. And we did something a little crazy. We gave ownership. You name the campaign, you design the poster, and you plan the celebration. And suddenly, I was happy. Why? Because ideas started flowing. Let's call it Learn in 30 or 30-day challenge, ma'am. Ma'am, weekly updates on internet. Will it keep them excited? Ma'am, short videos of participants. It will give them FOMO. I was happy. I didn't micromanage. I just encouraged. I celebrated their every small step. I still remember our very first poster. It was not perfect, but we celebrated it anyway. I remember the first idea. It was terrible actually, but we still celebrated the idea. Slowly, the mood shifted from this won't work to what if we tried this? First week, 10 signups. Second week, 25. By the end of the month, voila! Over 50 employees had joined Learn in 30. And here's the fun part. You might wonder, how did they actually learn? Each participant set a personal goal for the month. Whether it was learning the basics of Power BI, creating their first graphic design project, or improving their public speaking skills. We shared weekly tips, mini challenges, and short tutorial videos. Employees helped each other, shared progress on the internet, and celebrated all the small and big wins together. And by the end of the 30 days, most participants had completed a smaller project or presentation showing what they have learned, and they were confident enough to use it in their work. The number that mattered most, 70% of employees actually used their learning budget. But the real win was a comment in my 360-degree feedback. She could have taken the easy way out and let the budget go unused. I could have. But instead, she made us excited about learning again, and that mattered more than the money. That's when it hit me. This is not about me or the policies. It's about people always. It's about connection and it's about relevance. You don't motivate people with rules. You motivate them by showing them why it matters. And it's not just employees, it's your own team too, at first. Motivate them first and they'll inspire others. You don't need to do all the work. This project also taught me something very interesting about leadership that we tend to forget. It's not about giving instructions, it's about curiosity, which means asking the right questions. It's about encouragement, which means celebrating even small wins. It's about trust, which means giving ownership and letting people shine. So here's the truth I carry now. People don't act for policies, they will never act for policies. They act for meaning, they act for excitement, and they act when they are given ownership. And that's why, as leaders, as mentors, and as managers, we should never forget because why matters. Because when people know their why, you don't need to give them reminders. They act, they care, and sometimes they even surprise you. Thank you, and over to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Let us give a round of applause to Toastmaster Yogita for the why she has explained. And definitely, if they know the why, we don't need to tell them. The next speaker of today is Toastmaster Renu, and she will be evaluated by Toastmaster Natini. Yes, I can see both of them. Toastmaster Renu is a certified soft skill and POSH trainer, an aspiring image consultant. She's passionate about connecting with people, understanding their stories, and helping them grow through meaningful conversations. She's on a path of presentation mastery level 5. This is a path breaker speech. The project name is Reflect on Your Pathway, and the objective is for the member to reflect on and share some aspect of their growth during completion of a path. Timer, please note it is a 10 to 12 minutes speech. Toastmaster Renu, the path I broke, the voice I found. The path I broke, the voice I found. Toastmaster Renu.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and all the esteemed guests present. If someone had told me a few years ago that I would be standing here speaking with people across the globe, I would have just laughed at them and said, "Not me, never." But then you see, life has its own way of proving us wrong. It was in the year 2023 that my exploration in public speaking began. And that too with a very simple program which was named Speechcraft Program. It turned out to be a turning point for me because right at that point of time, I was preparing to step out of my sabbatical and embrace my new path as a soft skill trainer. My sabbatical gave me treasures I will cherish always in my life. They were beautiful memories of my marriage, precious time with my children, but I must admit, it quietly took away something, my opportunities to grow as a leader and my chance to strengthen my voice as a communicator. I knew the importance of communication skills. I had read about them, I had taught them, and I had admired them also. But I also knew something for myself. I didn't had enough practice before I entered the professional arena. And to stand up and confide that weakness, to admit it openly, I think was one of the hardest thing I ever did. But when I walked into that speechcraft program, something unexpected happened. I found a space where nobody judged me. Though my hands were trembling, my voice was shaky, and very evident nervous smile on my face. To my surprise, I was welcomed with warmth. Instead of criticism, what I was receiving encouragement. Instead of rejections, I found acceptance. And in that moment, I realized this was not just a program, it was a safe haven for me, a place where I could not only learn to speak, but also learn to be myself. What I discovered there was magical, completely magical for me. For the first time, I felt completely free to explore the power of my own voice. And I didn't want to give up on this program. But unfortunately, the program was timed for a few weeks. So it ended up, and that is when the Toastmasters happened and Gabbys happened to me. With Gabbys came my first mentor, distinguished Toastmaster Nagesh. And when I was struggling with writing my speeches, he told me something which still echoes in my mind. Madam, your mess is your message. Well, I didn't understand what he meant. But gradually I slowly realized my struggles, my imperfections, my stubbles, they were not weaknesses to hide. They were rather stories. Yes, the stories which I can share. They had lessons. The stories had lessons, and that could touch hearts. And that is when I started rekindling my love for talking. Not just talking my Toastmasters, but reconnecting, connecting with my audience. But tell me, Toastmaster, is life ever a straight line? Is ever life so smooth? No, no, no. It has its ups, it has its lows. And just when I was thinking I'm touching a new high, I didn't even realize I was slowly drifting into a low. Yes, I was going off track. And that too for almost the complete term of my membership. I will admit I didn't take up any speeches for quite some time. It felt so much easier to listen to others' inspiring speeches, maybe take a table topic here and there, or occasionally a role at one point of time. But then, fellow Toastmasters, it is always said, you cannot learn swimming by sitting along the pool. I realized this truth when I saw my fellow speechcrafter, whom you just heard, Toastmaster Yogita. She was completing her pathway. And again, she was shining her way as a cheerful, ever energetic sergeant at arms. Wow, that was amazing. Her commitment reminded me that true growth comes only when we take that plunge. And so I did. But still, there were challenges, still, there were pauses. With each step, I was trying, the challenges I overcame, the pauses I overcame, I was getting more stronger. The confidence I was building here in the club, it began to reflect outside in the training rooms, the trainings that I was conducting in schools and colleges within my city. Because now I had learned to speak with a purpose, not to give a lecture. I was connecting with my audience and I was not talking to them only. I was accepting their feedbacks, not as a criticism or a judgment, but rather as an opportunity to grow. Now, my training room environment was also getting transformed. They were no longer just sessions, they were becoming a kind of a meaningful experiences for my audience. And I have witnessed many breakthrough moments for my participants. So, something amazing was happening in my training room, and along the way, I was also witnessing some changes in myself. I had started accepting feedbacks. So feedbacks need not be like they need not be like a bitter truth. right? So, though honesty alone itself is a virtue and a non-negotiable virtue, but it need not be a bitter truth. It can be served with kindness. It can be wrapped in encouragement, and still carry that power to transform. So when I heard evaluations of DTM Saurabh, DTM Nancy, Toastmaster Smriti, I was experiencing this firsthand. I could see the transformation happening within me, within my fellow Toastmasters, like Toastmasters Samita sitting right in the room, Toastmaster Jasprit, Toastmaster Sunil in the room. They showed me that feedback. So it was so that they were basically using those feedbacks. And what I learned from these mentors here, that if the feedbacks are not just about reflecting the flaws, they were about shining a light on the possibilities. It is about helping someone grow and still keeping them grounded in the reality. Those feedbacks gave me the courage, and before I realized, I began completing my own levels. And voila, I won the Triple Crown. Yes, a moment that made me feel on top of the world. So, Toastmasters, let me confess now. I was not always on the top of the world. There were many funny hiccups that were happening along the way while I was like winning that triple crown, right? I would just like to share one such funny incident that happened along the way. I had a project like handling a disruptive audience. I had titled my speech Am I at Zero? And I delivered it with full energy, right? And full conviction also. But then the evaluation section approached, and my evaluator said to me, Great speech, Renu, but you'll need to repeat it. I said, Why? Because no one disrupted me. Why didn't anyone disrupt me? My project requirement did said so. The TMOD did read the project guidelines and the project purpose. Then why didn't anybody disrupt me? Well, it was not the fault of the audience because I myself had forgotten to tell the VPE that I needed disruptors during my speech. So Toastmasters, that is when I understood something. Understanding the purpose of your speech is definitely important. But it is equally important that you share the complete project requirements with your VP education so they can fully support you. It was a small miss. It wasn't a big task. I did repeat my speech, but it gave me a big lesson in presentation and communication. While I'm talking to you, reflecting on my pathway, uh, it's bringing me back so many memories. And with your patience, Toastmaster, I could go on and on and on. Because my journey is not a few days, a few months. It's been of 2 years. So let me take one last admission, which I cannot hold back myself back. There's a little secret. The technology, it never scared me. It intrigued me. But facing the camera right now, the way I'm doing it, that was a different story. You see, I wasn't that comfortable. In fact, I was camera shy. I was painfully shy. That is where my new mentor, distinguished Toastmaster Aparna, she stepped in. She believed in me. And when I was not able to do that thing, like come up on the cameras, she would patiently ask me again and again, Renu, send me a video of your speech. And sometimes if she would even record her own video and would show me how I could improve. Who does that? I don't recall anyone ever going that extra mile for me in the longest of my time. But distinguished Toastmaster Aparna, she did. And each time when I pressed that record button on my screen, I chipped away a part of my fear until one day the fear is gone. From a hesitant participant in the speech craft program to someone who embraces the stage, the screen, and every speaking opportunity that comes my way, I have truly broken my own paths. Gratitude to Toastmasters who has given me a space, mentors who have given me wings, and this community who has given me a purpose. Toastmasters, if I can give you one message, so my message would be once again, your mess is your message. Don't hide it. Don't run from it. Own it, share it, let it light the path for someone else. Because when we dare to speak, when we choose to step into discomfort, we are willing to do the uncomfortable. My journey began with a trembling voice, delivering my very first speech, doing the uncomfortable. And today, as I stand before you, sharing my final speech in the pathway, the path I broke, the voice I found, I realized this is not the end of my journey, rather, only the beginning, or many more scripts waiting to be written. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Toastmaster Renu. Let us all stand up. This was a path-breaking speech, and let us all applaud for
Thank you so much.
Toastmaster Renu, who has taken time, did not give up. Her resilience is something we can all learn from. So congratulations on completing your path. With that, we will take a quick 5 minutes break and we will come back and welcome back, everybody. Please put your cameras on or give me a thumbs up so that I know that you all are all back. Because right now we'll be having the most interesting section. So I'll just give you a few seconds. Yes, a thumbs up I see from Toastmaster Amrinal Ghosh. And from Kelly, y'all are back. Toastmaster Priya is back. Rest of you, yes, quick. So Toastmasters, the DTM Saurabh Datta is already there. Timer Vipul is here. Yes. So let us begin. We in Toastmasters, we eagerly wait for this section. That is the evaluation. The whole process of being in Toastmaster is becoming our better self, being better in what we do. Let me call upon my first speaker, distinguished Toastmaster Nancy Coel, and her evaluator, Toastmaster Kelly. Sure. Toastmaster Kelly is the president of Sunway Toastmasters Club in District 102 and the district operations executive of D 102. Timer, Zoom moderator, please highlight the timer, spotlight the timer, our speaker, and our evaluator.
Wait, can I start now?
Yes.
Okay. DTM Nancy, we are telling us about you are a DTM, and I am going to give you more DTMs in my evaluation. The first DTM, don't think much. What you did great in your speech is your hero's journey structure in your speech. You were the main character of your story. You had a good beginning, telling us you were the oldest chartered member of your club. You had a climax telling us that you completed one path in 21 days. Hi, kya baat hai? And then you had an incident where you chose engaging humor pathway. You had a fall. You struggled in the path and you were eventually giving up. Then you come to your recovery, your mentor motivated you and reminded you are a DTM and people are expecting a lot from you. You then close it beautifully with a lesson learned, that is learning to be shameless and be bold to do things you never felt comfortable with. So great job on that one. You also close it with a very humorous ending. I think you are on the right path by choosing engaging humor here. You said that you were to find an evaluator who is of the same path, which I am in engaging humor, and that to never be seen again ever after, so that people be reminding you about how you are doing. So I think you did great on your speech structure. It was a great story. You also have great gestures. Your posture, I noticed that you are standing while you're delivering your speech. Your gestures are done purposefully. You have excellent speaking pace, not too fast, not too slow. It was beautiful. Some things that you may want to work on is your second DTM for you. Do tell more. Tell us a little bit more on your struggles in engaging humor pathway. What made you choose this pathway and what specific challenges you had in this pathway other than trying to make people laugh? Because I tend to have that issue also. Is it because of meeting the purpose statement was difficult for you, or was it crafting a humorous speech was difficult for you, etc.? Those kind of experiences. Now, second point in this one is that your emotions can elevate your entertainment to keep your audience engaged by injecting enough emotions to it. Especially, this is a good story to include in your DTM journey. That is how you touch your audience with emotions. Now, finally, to challenge yourself, your third DTM, do try me. Communicate with your evaluators beforehand and encourage your evaluators to challenge you on things that you have never done before. Ask them to look out for specific aspects that you are trying to work on, because as a DTM, I believe that you want to keep improving yourself, although you are already at the highest achievement in Toastmasters International. Overall, I think you have done a great job. Bahut Bhatia.
A big round of applause for our evaluator, Kelly. Oh, what a wonderful evaluation with all DTM. Very well done. And it is so easy for, I'm sure, DTM Nancy to remember everything that you have told her. Thank you so much. Second will be our speaker, Sachin Jaiswal. Second evaluator Sachin Jaiswal evaluating Toastmaster Shravan Kumar.
Thank you. Yeah.
Toastmaster Sachin is a finance professional with over 23 years of experience across IT, health sector, biotech startup, retail, e-commerce, and FMCG. He is a chartered accountant and an alumnus of IIM Bangalore and Columbia Business School. Currently serving as Chief Financial Officer at AZA Fashion Private Limited in Mumbai. He oversees global finance operations for the US and India.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day and Presiding Officer Samita Kar, for a wonderful introduction. And good evening, Toastmasters and guests, and especially to Toastmaster Shravan Kumar. What a wonderful podcast, and we enjoyed thoroughly. Now, every podcast or speech has got three parts: introduction, body, and conclusion. And in the introduction, Toastmaster Sano, you started the podcast with a smile and great energy, which was really well done. And then you you said how being a club executive officer, what you learn and how it shapes our, both professional and personal life. That's what. And then you gave a very good intro of Toastmaster Kavya, who was the guest, which shows that you have done a thorough research about the guest. Well done. Now, coming to the body section, you asked all 8 questions just to just to reflect the challenges faced by the XCOM members, what they enjoy, and the journey they go through, the personal and professional growth they have. All these questions gave a complete overview of the XCOM role. Now, coming to the conclusion, you encourage us to take a club officer role, and just because it's all about growth. So you encouraged us. That's well done. Now, few things which where you excelled at. So as I said earlier, you started with a smile and bore the smile throughout the podcast, which was well done. Then your podcast interviews questions were very engaging, and it was tailored to guests as well as for the audience. We enjoyed the chemistry between the host and the guest. We really liked that. Then icing on the cake was active listening. You are nodding and smiling and acknowledging throughout the podcast, and it's important to guide the conversation, the nodding and smiling. So well done. Then your podcast content and delivery was excellent. Now, few areas where you want to work upon. You pause while introducing Toastmaster Kavya. You paused a little while for a little while, and I thought that you are forgetting the words. So please take care of that in future. And while acting as a host, you should avoid repetitive gestures. So you are doing like this couple of times, which appeared to be very distracting to me. So you can do it once, but not should not repeat it. So apart from this, it was a great podcast, and we all enjoyed it. And I see you all in.
Toastmaster Sachin, you are
Toastmasters were not.
speaking on mute. You're
Yeah, you're.
speaking on mute. Last few seconds we lost Toastmaster Sachin. You're speaking on mute. Let's try moving the headset, disconnecting the headset, and just speak without that.
Yes, you can try now and see.
Sorry, am I audible or not audible? Is there
Yes,
any?
now you're audible.
So I was not audible earlier.
Yeah, last few sentences we could not hear. Rest you were audible.
Okay, okay. Then I'll again repeat the where Toastmaster 7 excelled at. So Toastmaster 7, you started with a smile and wore the smile throughout the podcast, which was great. And then your podcast interview questions were quite engaging and were tailored for the guest and the audience, which was well done. We enjoyed the chemistry between the host and the guest. An important part of the podcast is active listening. You are nodding and smiling and acknowledging throughout the podcast, and it's important to guide the conversation through nodding and smiling, which you did really well. Now, the podcast content and delivery was excellent, and the pace of the speech was good. Some of the things where you may want to work on. While introducing Toastmaster Kavya, you paused for a while, and I thought that you are forgetting the words. So please ensure that there is a good pace while introducing. And the second point of improvement, you have to avoid repeating gestures because it's quite distracting. So you're using this gesture like this couple of times you used. So avoid repeating gestures. Apart from that, it was a great podcast and we all enjoyed it. And I feel that you have the qualities of a great host. So very congratulations on completing L4 P1, and over to you to PO and Timodi Toastmaster Samitakar.
Thank you, thank you. Let us hear from our evaluator. Such a beautiful evaluation, clinical evaluation, and I'm sure Toastmaster Shravan will be noting it down and definitely implementing it in his next project. The next speaker to be evaluated is Dr. M. Pasha, and I'll be evaluating Dr. Pasha. To my target speaker, Dr. Pasha, your topic was very close to my heart because this is what I hear often. Since my daughter is also a dentist, what all you spoke about oral health and how to clean, floss, and smile. So it was something which I could relate to. You had structured it well. You had a question which you asked in the middle, which helped us to think and come up with an answer. Surely the answer we do not think, as you had said, that it's the mouth. We thought about when we are born or when we started working. So that was a very clever move to involve the audience. You spoke well with vocal variety, gestures. The story that you narrated was captivating because these are, I assume, all are your stories from your clinical experiences. And how well you had said that if you can't see something, you do not take action on it. This is one sentence that caught my attention. I had never thought it in this manner, that if you can't see something, you don't pay much attention to it. But after listening to your speech, I realized it was a very, very observant uh, uh, point that you were saying. When we are doing a podcast, it is about how the other members are perceiving it. Now, when I am giving you your feedback and I am speaking, can you hear me?
Yes,
Could
yes,
you
I
hear
can hear
me?
you.
No. Why you couldn't hear me? Because the volume I had reduced. So why your speech may be a perfect speech, your voice control, variety, pacing, if we can't hear what you are speaking, then we do not enjoy the speech. This is my recommendation for you, that 15 minutes before when we were in the room, please make sure that you check to which length can you go for your speech to be heard by us. Because when you're speaking in front, we can hear you, but the moment you're going back, we cannot hear you. And that effectively reduces the effectiveness of your speech. So that is my recommendation to you. It was a well-rounded speech, and I hope that you will bring in more such stories and enlighten us on the different aspects of oral health. Over to you. So this was the evaluation of Dr. Pasha, and next evaluation will be of Toastmaster Priyanka Gupta. Evaluator is Toastmaster Priya Singh. Toastmaster Priya is a marketing professional and an academician in business management. She's passionate about creative writing and poetry. Her podcast, Soulful Scrolls, is her dedicated effort to the craft of poetic expressions. She joined Toastmaster to enhance her public speaking skills and become an influential voice to inspire others. Over to you, Toastmaster Priya Singh.
Toastmaster Priyanka Gupta, can you come on camera?
Sorry, I can try.
Okay, no problem. Toastmaster Priyanka, I must say that whilst we had amazing speeches today in the speech marathon, I would really say that your speech was a wonderful reminder that the easiest thing to be in the world is being yourself. It doesn't matter what versions of you others have in their mind. What matters is what you decide to be. And your story and your speech beautifully brought home this message to me, and it will stay with me for a very long time. So kudos to you for such a wonderful story and a reminder that I think each one of us would love to know. There are various aspects that I really liked about your speech. You started with a question to the audience and immediately hooked the audience into the story, wondering what would come next. There were a lot of nice phrases that you did use, some which were like jumped off like a startled cat, impossible person to handle, and I don't exist as a single person. I exist as 1,000 different versions in 1,000 minds. So you made very good use of phrases which were very relatable to your story. You made a good use of space. Your body language gestures were very nice and suitably done. I must say that you did bring in variations by adding a few sounds when you were transitioning from one manager to the other. Another beautiful part of your speech was how you transitioned from one phase of your life, from the current Priyanka, and then you moved down to the youngest version of the childhood Priyanka, which was beautifully done. So kudos to you for that. And you did also bring a lot of variety in your voice. Now, I would like to suggest some aspects which I feel would definitely elevate your speech. First is that you could bring in more pauses, especially where you use these beautiful phrases. By the time the audience could, assimilate that phrase and enjoy it, you had moved on with your story. So you could think of pausing a few seconds wherever you did mention these beautiful phrases that you brought in, which I just highlighted before. Number two, I think you need to use the camera. The position of your camera was such that we could see you totally, but we lost out on your expressions. You had expressions on your face, but we couldn't see them well. So you could work on how you present yourself before the camera. And another aspect was that the speech could be more impactful if you are more into using your vocal variety more. I felt that when you transition from one manager to the other, your voice more or less remained the same. So it was a wonderful speech, structure, flow, intro, body, conclusion. Everything was there. Vocal variety can be worked upon more, and your position in front of the camera, more pauses would definitely take your speech and make it even more impactful. So kudos, wonderful speech, great. Would love to see many more speeches from you. Thank you. Over to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Toastmaster Priya Singh, for such a evaluation where you clinically pointed out what she could do to elevate her speech to the next level. Next, we have Speaker Rahul. Speaker Rahul will be evaluated by distinguished Toastmaster Saurabh Datta, who is a two-time distinguished Toastmaster and who has completed all the 11th 11 Toastmasters pathways. With over 20 years of leadership experience at HP, Target, JCPenney, he's a seasoned expert in analytics, strategy, and marketing. Now a social entrepreneur, he co-founded Practive in 2020 to support students, MSMEs, non-profits, and women entrepreneurs. Saurabh is passionate about empowering others through learning and leadership. Over to you.
Whenever I hear this topic, managing change, I think not only me, all of us, we generally hear about a corporate story. We are hearing about some business leader driving a change, or how you, as a part of a team, drove a change. And then we hear that very cliched quote again and again and again: change is the only thing constant. How boring. So when I saw this speech topic, I knew exactly this is what was coming. And you surprised me, Rahul, in a very pleasant way. For a change, we did not have a boardroom talk being masqueraded as a speech. We had a real speech about a real story of hiking, of real fear, real people going through a real experience and making real changes in the plan. That's what makes your speech very touch and feel. What added to it is your signature style of calm and composed delivery in a very husky voice, which adds a lot of element and a lot of drama to the speech without overdoing anything. It's a very good storytelling style of delivering a speech. I loved it. Now, because I love it, I have the onus on me to tell you can you make it better so that we love it even more. Right? We love something, we try to make it better. So the first thing, Rahul, you talked about sunset, you talked about reaching the top of the mountain, you talked about oceans, rivers, and whatnot, right? And you just talked about it. You didn't describe it. You didn't tell me that hue of that yellow and the orange slightly going down to the valley. And I was standing there. I was soaking in the sun. See, descriptive language can actually teleport me to where you are, where you were. And that's the best way for me to be where you have been, because I can't be there. So try to use descriptive language when you are giving a speech when nature is playing a big role of a cameo. Second, you said, in utter disbelief. Where is the disbelief? You said, I was scared. Where were you scared? You said it was risky. Where was it risky? Neither your voice nor your gestures showed anything which reflects the emotions that you were narrating. This was a speech where you could have used a lot of prop. To start with, you could have come in a hiking gear. You had a cigarette lighting up, but that's the only thing that you had in terms of prop. You could do it, you could have done so much. And finally, a beautiful speech can get marred by grammatical errors. We have gone to the down is not a kind of English that we would want to use in a speech like this. So, Rahul, watch your language, use descriptive language, use better body language and vocal variety. Try to use as much props as possible, and please do come back and give speeches like this, which brings in change in a much changed way. Thank you. Back to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you so much for that evaluation, for us to learn how to evaluate. It's always a pleasure listening to you and your evaluation, because that is what we always aspire to, give a evaluation where the speaker gets those points, and you have wonderfully done so. Moving on to our next speaker Yogita, and her evaluator, Toastmaster Mrinal Kanti Ghosh. Toastmaster Mrinal Kanti Ghosh is president of Globetrotters and treasurer of Leadership Speak Toastmasters Club, a market access manager at GSK. He drives growth across Eastern India. a graduate of IIM in those senior management program. He is known for impactful communication, leadership, and his dedication to learning and personal well-being. Over to you, Toastmaster Mrinal Kanti Ghosh.
Thank you so much, Madam Toastmaster of the Day. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, guests, and especially Toastmaster Yogita. Policies don't inspire people. People inspire people. That's the thought that came to my mind while listening to your speech today. Your project on employee motivation and ownership was so practical. It's very much relatable and full of honesty. What I really admired was your authenticity. You didn't sugarcoat reality, employees ignoring HR mails, policies going unread, and uphill task of motivating teams. This made your speech instantly more reliable. I also loved the example you used, posters, awareness programs, and how employees eventually began supporting each other's. These stories were proof of motivation when done right creates ownership. Now, to elevate your speech further, I have two recommendations. First, structure. Your delivery felt more like notes from a brainstorming sessions. If you present it in a clear flow, problem, challenge, action, result, your message will be sharper and easier for the audience to retain. Second, emotional contrast. When you spoke about employees ignoring mails, you quote, dramatize the indifference thought of your voice or even body language. Then contrast with the excitement of employees collaborating and did the projects. This shift could create more energy and amplify your impact. Finally, what stuck with me the most was your powerful message. Motivation is not about rules, it's about people. You reminded us true leadership starts by motivating your own team and giving them ownership. That idea is not only relevant in the workplace, it is, for me, lesson for life. To overall conclude your speech, you brought honesty, experience, and a leadership lesson that matters. With a touch of more structure and expressive delivery, your speech can inspire any room you walk into. Thank you so much, and I look forward to hearing you again. Over to you, Toastmaster of the Day, Toastmaster Samita.
Thank you so much. Let us hear for Toastmaster Mrinal for such a wonderful evaluation. And yes, definitely, we would also like our HRs to be like this, who would show different methods, not only make us read what is there in the book. Our next speaker and the last speaker is Toastmaster Renu, and she will be evaluated by Toastmaster Natini, an MBBS student at Manipal University College, Malaysia, and president of MUCM Toastmasters Club. Passionate about music and theatre, she holds a grade 3 from the London School of Music. She actively seeks opportunity to learn, connect, and grow through leadership and the performing arts. Over to you, Toastmaster Natini.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the evening, and a warm greeting to Toastmasters of Gabby Toastmasters Club and fellow guests, and a special greeting to Toastmaster Renu. First off, let me congratulate you on completing your final speech for your pathway. What an achievement. I truly enjoyed your speech. It was both inspiring and very impactful. Right from the start, what most caught my attention was your voice. It is loud, you had good volume and clear diction that lasted the entirety of your speech. For a 10 to 12-minute speech, audience fatigue is usually your worst enemy, and yet your voice carried so well that I feel like I could have listened to it a little bit more. You also mentioned that you're not the most comfortable in front of a camera, and yet today you have maintained eye contact with the camera throughout your speech. I think all your practice and your mentor really helped out, and it was all worth it. Another strength of your speech is the simplicity of your language combined with very emotionally impactful lines. I liked when you said, I found acceptance, I found my safe haven, I explored the power in my voice. All these lines really stayed with me and helped me connect with your journey through your pathway. I would also like to commend you for the impactful pauses you kept in places that just wanted me to keep listening to you more and seeing what the solution for the problems you felt were. Whether that be the emptiness you felt in your sabbatical, or maybe after your course was finished, or maybe your pause in motivation during your journey. But in the true spirit of Toastmasters, of continuous learning and growing, even though I loved your speech, please allow me to make a few suggestions for improvement in my humble opinion. Number one, you mentioned a little bit of jargon about speech crafting, and it was a central part of your journey. But some in the audience may not be familiar with it. So given that you had 10 minutes time, maybe allow yourself next time that if you're ever going to use technical terms, do not assume that the audience may know it, and just spend a little time giving context to the audience, so they understand the significance. And while your flow was really good, you also mentioned quite a bit of names. For guests or a public audience, this can be a little overwhelming. Perhaps maybe highlight 3 key individuals who had the biggest impact and acknowledge the rest for future speeches. You don't have to leave them out. This way, your story is a lot more clearer, easier to follow, and you can attach maybe an impactful statement that each of these key individuals said, so that your speech is more structured and there's just 3 things, 3 takeaway points, and it just makes your speech a little better. There was a few unnecessary gestures, in my opinion. You kept moving your hands, but maybe you could have had a lot more intention to the movement of your hands. Maybe when you said, what do I do? Maybe use your hands then, but you don't need to keep, moving it. Just think about why you're moving your hands next time. In summary, it was a heartfelt, inspiring speech, and with a little refinement in simplifying your references, explaining some key terms, and polishing some of these gestures, your already powerful delivery will shine even brighter. Thank you so much for inviting me, and congratulations on completing your pathway. Back to you, Toastmaster of the evening.
Thank you so much. An 18-minute speech, and what an evaluation it was. I'm sure your target speaker has made a whole note of what to do and what not to do in the next speech. This brings us to the end of today's speech marathon. Since there was a path breaker and icebreaker speech, we will not have any polls today. About Gabbys, we are coming to the contest season, so let me once again remind everybody. So if you have not yet put up your names for the humorous speech contest and the table topic contest, please do so immediately. So the GOAT, that is Gabby's Online Advanced Toastmasters Club, will have its table topic session contest on 9th September and humorous speech contest on 16th September. Yes, Saurabh, you want to say something?
Yeah, after the announcement of the contest.
And Gabby's will have the table topic and a humorous speech contest on 13th September. Yes, Saurabh, you can go.
Yeah, I just wanted to announce that we also have a joint meeting of the Gabbys and the Gabbys Online Advanced Toastmasters Club next week. So this is a joint meeting, and then again a joint meeting is coming up. But the next meeting of the GOAT, there's something very exciting that's happening here. I don't know how many of you know this, but Sanskriti Acharya from Nepal, she actually won the World Quarterfinals from District 41, and she went for WCPS. So she was one of the contestants from semifinal 3 of World WCPS, World Champion of Public Speaking, which is happening right now as we speak. The international convention is going on. Unfortunately, her visa was not approved, and Sanskriti could not go to US. And not only that, the contest rules does not even allow her to participate online. So we missed out on a great speech and a great contestant for reasons beyond her control. So what we have done is we have invited Sanskriti to be the test speaker for a mock evaluation contest that we are doing at the Gabbys next Tuesday, 7:30 p.m. IST. So Sanskriti will be the test speaker, and there are 10 members of the Gabbys Toastmasters Club and the Gabbys Online Advanced Toastmasters Club who will be evaluating Sanskriti. We will do it exactly in the evaluation speech contest format, except that we will not have voting judges or chief judges and so on. But you as audience members will be voting for the best evaluator. So please, please, please do join us, not for us, but for Sanskriti. I think she deserves all the love, all the respect, and all the accolades because I'm pretty sure that she would have gone places had the visa not been an issue. So please be there and please spread the word. We want all of us to turn up in large numbers and show her that we really care and we really value her success. Thank you so much. Back to you, Samita.
Thank you. And I would like our guest to give some feedback. Yes, Toastmaster Kelly, would you like to give us a feedback? You were there throughout the meeting.
Definitely. I feel like this is a very high quality speech marathon for as long as I have remembered joining any speech marathons. You have 7 speakers and 3 long speeches in this speech marathon. Also, I learned a lot from the fellow evaluators tonight. I mean, the world is so big, and getting out of where I come from is really eye-opening for me, and I learned a lot from every other evaluators here as well. And I would like to say congratulations to everyone who has given a speech today. I think you guys are amazing. You guys are going to shine bright. I love it here.
Thank you so much. Yes, Toastmaster Natini, you were also there throughout the speeches and evaluations. So a quick feedback from you.
Sure. Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm usually stayed towards my district whenever I'm touring clubs. So this was a very lovely experience, especially attending a club meeting from my home country. Would really love to come back and maybe meet you all in person. But like Toastmaster Kelly said, I think it was a very nice moderation of the whole event. It's a long event. It's 2 hours of the continuous speeches. So props to you, Toastmaster of the evening. It was done really well. And I also loved that before the meeting even started, there was enough time to get evaluation sheets and details. Everything was sent, and it just helps the process along. Everyone was so lovely contacting me as well. So overall, the experience was very nice, and hope you guys will have me again.
Thank you. Yes, definitely. We would like to see you back again. Toastmaster Mrinal, though you were late, but you have joined finally. I know you had some challenges coming, and a quick feedback from you.
Yeah. So sometime it's happened, but we have to manage.
Yes.
So I had a truly enriching experience at Gabbys Online Advanced Toastmaster Club. The meeting was not only well organized, but also full of energy, warmth, and I can see the high level of professionalism. What impressed me, I listened 3 speeches and all are masterclass for me. Each member's brought depth, creativity, and advanced speaking technique that made my session highly engaging and educational. And I like this supportive environment and where you conduct the Toastmaster of the day, that is totally incredible.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It was wonderful. And with that, I bring this meeting to a close. Good night. Bye-bye. And hope we meet again. Do not forget, as DTM Saurav has said, to come on the Tuesday's meeting. With that, bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.